our headlining comedian of the night, Sarah Champion. She is fantastic. She's from Tacoma, Washington. If you've been here before, you may recognize her from a previous show. She's one of my favorite people. She's so nice. She's so wonderful. Can we show her some love?
Yeah.
All right, Sarah Champion.
Woo, my goodness. Welcome, Gallery Boom. Man, let me find a safe place to... I don't know what's not art. I'm going to put that there just to be on the safe side. My goodness, thank you all for coming tonight. Can we get a round of applause for all the comedians tonight? My God. We had Ian, Eli, Lynn, Tamber, Lucy, Ruben, and Corinna. Brought the funny. I am so happy to be here. I came in off of a family camping trip. About 4 or 5 hours ago, I was on a beach, and I tell you what, if you ever have the opportunity to be the person who gets a little 8-year-old girl's kite up in the air and flying for the first time in her life, I tell you what, when you have the chance to be that person, could you come tell me what it was like? I could not get that kite. There was wind everywhere. I have no idea what went wrong. And so I came here. Spend time with you good people. Let's get into it. We're going to get to know each other. I'm going to tell you about me. You're going to tell me about you silently to yourselves. And we're going to leave tonight a little bit closer together. Let's start off with the obvious. As you can see, I have a fairly serious case of bitchy resting face. I'm not mad. I am not mad. If you see me somewhere and you're like, oh my God, that's Sarah Champion, that totally funny chick, but she looks mad, I'm not going to say, no, come up and say something. I'm not mad. Now, my friends, people will tell you that resting bitch face and bitchy resting face are the same thing, and they will use them interchangeably. I'm here to tell you they are different. Resting bitch face, that's just a bitch's face at rest. Really has more to do with her personality than her facial features, quite frankly. Bitchy resting face, on the other hand, is when a perfectly nice person, through no fault of her own, happens to look homicidal when she's not consciously making a facial expression. Is that better? Are you more comfortable if my eyebrows are a little higher? Does that help? Because I feel like it's partly the eyebrows. Now, I had to figure out what led me to this unfortunate, I don't want to say unfortunate facial configuration, because let's face it, I'm cute as fuck. Look, if you're going to have bitchy resting face, you might as well be like devilishly elvish at the same time. But I had to know. So you know what I did? I went out to that little Ancestry.com. Has anybody ever done that? No? Let me tell you what it's like. You can save $69.95. It was actually very useful. You get this little kit and you spit into a tube, and then you mail the tube off, and then in a couple of weeks you get an email that says, hey, log in, we've got your results. Now my results, it turns out, on a very high level, I am 97% from one specific region of the world. Can anyone guess what that region might be? Anyone? Shout it out.
Mordor.
That's the best response I've ever had to this bit. That is fantastic. 97% Mordor. You are right, sir. Verified by science. Yes. I heard Europe. That's not specific enough. 97% Western European. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, $69.95 to find out I'm really white. But 97%, isn't that tantalizing? Isn't that mysterious? It's not 100%. What happened to that other 3%? Don't worry, I did the math, it's 3. Well, Ancestry.com, recreational DNA testing in this sick fucking country, has got the answer. Somehow I came into the world 97% Western European. 2% Northern African, like Libya, Morocco, that region. 1% Central Asian. Now, don't act like you know where that's at. You're Americans and you're bad at geography. Just sitting there like, Central Asia, got you. We're with you. Central Asia is the stands, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan. There's like 7 of them. 1% Central Asian, 97% Western European, 2% Northern African. And not a drop of the Native American my grandmother swore was there. Oh, Thanksgiving's gonna get real awkward this year. Gonna have some answering to do. Speaking of cranky people, are we done with millennials? Are we done with them? Can we be done with them? Guys, we have been talking about millennials for literally now decades. They're raising children. Can we move on? We don't even understand when these periods started and stopped. Hey, real quick, how many baby boomers do we have in the audience? This is not a demographic we are reaching with our art. How do you know if you're a baby boomer? How do you know if you're a millennial? Does anyone know? How many people aren't really sure which one they are, Gen X or millennial? Look, I'm here to help you out. You know who's going to help me out? The Pew Motherfucking Research Center. That's right. I'm going data-driven. Baby boomers, 1946 to 1965. Those are our boomers. That leaves Gen X, 1965 to 1980. Cutoff for Gen X to millennials, 1981. Does anyone know when the cutoff for millennials is? There is one. The Pew Research Center has decreed. Does anyone know? It starts in 1981. When do you think? 1996. And the generation coming after that, the one that my daughter is a part of, what is that? Have we named them yet?
Gen Z.
Gen Z. What does the Z stand for? Zebra. Omega. Are they the last generation? Are we just like in your face, Gen Z? You will grow up with this knowledge? That's something we would do. We're Americans. We're assholes like that. You think I'm kidding? Let's talk about nuclear weapons just for a second to raise the energy a little bit. Do you know the largest nuclear bomb that Russia has? Do you know what the name of it is? Satan 2. You know what the name of our biggest nuclear bomb is? Crowd pleaser. That's not a joke, ladies and gentlemen. That's fact. You can FOIA that shit. crowd pleaser. We're just fucking asses about it. We would do that to the last generation, be like, Gen Z, figure it out. On the plus side, though, your retirements can be super simple to plan for. So we did that for you. How am I supposed to raise a child in Gen Z? That's depressing. No choice. We got to go to Disney. It's the only savior we have, people. Look, Disney has taught me what kind of a parent I am. Because you know what? Okay, look, having a child, I have one child, she's 8 years old, she is the absolute light of my life. My God, the other day, this kid looks at me with all the innocence and wonder in her eyes, and she says, Mama, because she calls me Mama, Mama, how come some people have little butts on their chins? How could you not? Having a child, it changes everything that you see about the world, and this was in no better way demonstrated to me than the first time I watched the Disney movie Lion King as a parent. Now, look at me. I have watched this movie hundreds, nay, thousands of times. And until I sat there with my little girl by my side, I did not realize what a messed up movie this is. Now, I'm not talking about the young boy who was framed for the brutally violent murder of his father and then driven out of the only home he's ever known to die alone in the wilderness. As standard children's literature material. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not what it was. It was that scene when Simba had realized his destiny and he was running back to the Pride Land and he was going to take his place, and he ran upon that pond. He was looking in the water and he's looking at his reflection. It turned into his dad's reflection, and who hasn't had that dream? And he looks up into the sky and the clouds come and the spirit of Mufasa comes to him and he says, okay, look, I am aware I cannot do a James Earl Jones impression. You got to work with me. One moment.
You got it.
Thank you. No, keep that coming. If you're thinking encouragement might not help, you're wrong, sir. Encouragement will help. The spirit of Mufasa comes to him, and he looks down, and Mufasa says, "You have forgotten me, and so forgotten who you are." Damn, Mufasa! That's what you're gonna say in this moment? Okay, all right, but how about a little bit of, I don't know. You didn't kill me. That was Scar. We're good. Look, I am all for the tough love. You don't let your kid think he killed you. Too far, Mufasa. Lions are terrible parents. That's Disney, though. Oh my God, every one of those movies will break your heart. And so you know what I did? Do you know what I did? I took one of those little movies and I adapted it for my own little purposes. You'll recall a little film called Frozen? My daughter was 4 years old when that movie came out. Do you know what happens when a 4-year-old girl sees Frozen in theater? She doesn't watch anything else for 2 years. So I took one of those little songs and I made it ours. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Frozen, had it been set in Washington State. Do you want to smoke a bowl, man? We could get really high. not a misdemeanor anymore. I bought it at a store. You can get it in a pie. We used to be best buddies, but now we're not. And I wish you'd just get high. Do you want to smoke a bowl, man? Okay, fine. I always feel like such a princess when I sing that song. Thank you. Ah, that's what family's for. Providing material for our acts, right? Yes. That is what happens. Look, does anyone in here, if you're not a comic, have you ever thought about doing stand-up comedy? Just raise your hand. You don't have to do it tonight, but just raise your hand. Have you ever thought maybe just once I could do this? Look, sir, in the back with the beard in the gray shirt. If you're thinking that you want to do this, you have got to do this, because if you don't, you're going to end up like my uncle. My uncle wants to be a stand-up comedian more than anything. He has voted for Last Comic Standing more times than he has voted for president. But he will not get up here and try this. So what he's going to do instead is give me material for my act. Every time I see him, I know how it's going to go. It's going to be a lame street joke, and I know about the arc it's going to take, but he's my uncle. I'm going to listen to him. Last time I saw him, it went a little like this. He says, "Hey, I got a joke for you, and you can put it in your act." Says, "How come women can't parallel park?" I said, "Why?" He gets his chest all pumped up. It's this big moment. "'Cause all their lives, they've been told that this is 6 inches. I said, "Oh my God, Uncle Mike. If only women could utilize standard units of measure without referencing a penis." Because I know every time I go to parallel park my car, first thing I do, find the nearest dude. And I'm just like, "Drop try, mofo. I gotta see if this thing will fit." Uncle Mike. He's not all bad. He really is a good guy. And every now and then he does point out things that are awfully funny to me. For example, just the other day, he sent me an email with a picture of a hand-painted roadside sign. And clearly it was intended to advertise produce for sale down the road a piece. The sign said fresh, VAGGIES. Sound it out. Michael's losing his cheese like fresh veggies. At least they're fresh, right? I said, "Look, as something of a connoisseur, I can assure you, if they're advertised, they are not fresh. That's not how the world works, my friend. There are certain realities which must be reckoned with in life. My God, I was taught that hard. Everybody, who's had a first professional job? First real job? First, like, anybody ever in the room have a job? Anybody familiar with the employment concept? This is what you call your relatable material. This is gonna be good. All right, so let me paint a scene for you, apparently with a lot of detail. It was my very first professional job, and I was so eager to do a good job. And it's one of those, it was an office environment, a very stuffy office environment. If I had to categorize it, I would say it was a government law office. Wow. This was an human resources utopia. This is where political correctness was invented. That's right, university professors. I said it. Government lawyers did that. You're welcome. It was my very first week. I had gone home. It was Saturday. I'm feeling good about myself. I want to feel better about myself. I'm going to take care of a little lady issue. I got a little stash going on here, right? I get some depilatory cream. It was a new one, but it said for sensitive skin. I thought I was okay. I put it on. I take it off in the minimum amount of time, and my face is on fire. It is red, it is raised, it is burning, but it's Saturday. I'm gonna be okay by Monday morning. I'm gonna use some cucumbers, I'm gonna get some essential oils. I have dated chicks from Olympia, I know what I'm doing. Maybe not. I get to work Monday morning, I'm looking in the mirror, and I realize I don't just look like shit. I look like the poster child for why you should always use a dental dam. But I work in a government law office. I can't make that joke. I will get fired. And then it occurs to me, no one else can make that joke either. They will get fired. So there I am, the new chick, rolling in on Monday morning, looking like I'd spent the weekend going down on some chick named Crystal. We all know Crystal. And nobody can say a word about it. I consider it a lost opportunity which I have bottled and created for you, my audience, which I give you today. Thank you for making that opportunity worthwhile. I'm single, which you may not have picked up from the glamorous life I clearly lead. I see the surprise on all your faces. And you're, single? No. I'm also married. So things are complicated. So we are separated. We do live together, however. We're in one of those arrangements. It's super simple, super straightforward. There are no blurring of any lines ever, anywhere. That's all good. Now, only place where things can get complicated is when things start to go towards dating. A friend of mine tells me I cannot even consider dating until I understand my deal breakers. Anybody have any deal breakers? Sir, do you have any dating deal breakers? No deal breakers at all right here. If anybody's looking, like this guy will accept you where you are. That's where I was too. I was like, you know what? I think those are arbitrary boundaries. That's not fair. I have to understand where she's at. I have to understand her as an individual. My friend looks at me and says, Sarah, at one point your wife held up your marriage certificate in your face and tore it in half, and you stayed with her for another 2 years. Maybe give these whole deal breakers things a look-see. All right. But dealing with anything like worthwhile, that sounds advanced. I'm going to start simplistic. I'm going to go with a deal breaker I can enforce. And based on the interest I seem to be attracting so far, I have my first deal breaker. I hate to break any hearts tonight. If this is you, don't take it personally. Look, it's for my own health, okay? Look, first timers, I'm sorry. No. Straight women, I get it. I'd hit on me too. I hear you, but no, I can't. Look, I am not entry level. You must have experience to be considered for the position I have in mind. Fuck off with your on-the-job training requirements. I do not have time. And I literally do not have time. That's my time. My name is Sarah Champion. Thank you so much. You guys have been absolutely outstanding. Thank you. This has been incredible.
Give it up for Sarah. Yay, that was awesome.